Hey guys, what's going on? It is the FreezingCanadian here, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about Battlefield 3 and engineer rockets. Now, if you know anything about Battlefield 3, you know that the standard rocket for the engineer kit is the RPG for the Russians, or the SMAW, or the SMAW, for the Americans. As an engineer, you start off with it. You don't have to unlock it. It's your first rocket launcher, and it does do work. It does take around 3 to 4 shots to take out a tank, also depending on if the tank is reactive armor. And reactive armor is when there are plated pads along the back, the left, and the right of the tank, like I'm using in this gameplay. When a RPG or anything hits one of those pieces of armor, that armor takes damage, but that armor is no longer there. So that's just explaining reactive armor. But if we move on, RPGs and SMAWs are probably one of the best rocket launchers in the game. They do have just an easy point and shoot system, where if you see a tank, you see a guy behind cover, you see a buggy, you just aim, you fire. The one downside is that these rockets have extreme, and by extreme I mean incredibly amazing drop to them. So if you're trying to hit something that's a tank is perched up on a hill way outside in Firestorm, Operation Firestorm, then you're gonna have to aim a lot higher than if it was a sniper up there and you're counter sniping him. But besides that, that's the only real downsides to them. If you when you first spawn in and you do not use the explosive specialization, you will have approximately 5 RPGs, 1 in the barrel, 4 with you. And if you do spawn in with the if you do spawn in with the specialization, the explosive specialization, then you will have approximately 10 RPGs or SMAWs at your disposal to take down enemy tanks, so on. Next, let's move on to the Stinger, or the Igla. I'm not exactly sure how to say it or spell it, but it's a AA rocket that you unlock a little bit ways down the line for the engineer. Now, this rocket is used to take down air vehicles. That includes MAVs, helicopters, and jets. Now, the advantage of this is that it can take down these, it can take down these vehicles with some sort of ease. This ease was, I guess you could say, disrupted recently in the patch that they, that DICE put up for Battlefield 3, but we'll talk about that in a second. What these rockets do is you take your time, you lock onto a moving target, basically a jet or a helicopter or a MAV. It doesn't have to be moving though. You lock onto it, you wait, it'll be faster and faster, and then eventually around the little red box on the top, a circle, or on the top it'll say lock, on the bottom or inside the square there'll be a circle, and that's when you know when to lock on or when to fire. Now, since this Stinger or rocket is locking onto an enemy vehicle, the enemy vehicle will be notified with a animation sort of that will pop up on the screen saying lock, or just a flashing symbol and loud beeping noises. This rocket takes a okay amount of time to lock on. I'm not sure the exact time, but when the enemy air vehicle is using stealth, it will take an increased time, I believe double the time, maybe half of, maybe it'll take 1 rocket and a half of the time, just for figure of speech. but it will take more time if the enemy is using a stealth specialization on their helicopter or jet. And in the recent patch, like I was talking before, the Stingers were basically nerfed. And what I mean by that is that the Stingers now take 2 shots or 2 rockets to take out 1 air vehicle, such as a helicopter or a jet. It still only takes 1 rocket to take out an MAV though. But with the jets and helicopters, it does take an increased amount of rockets to take out 1 vehicle. For example, if you were to go after a jet, the jet could simply pop flares, and then you'd wait till the flares disperse from the area of the jet, and you start locking on again. So you shot 1 rocket, the jet pop flares, you move on. You lock on again, and you pop 1 shot into him. Before the patch, that would take the jet down, make it disabled, and put it out of commission basically. After the patch, or now, the jets required to be locked on and hit twice, so you have to put 2 rockets on target to kill them or disable them, a 3rd one to destroy it. And as I've said in other series where I talked that I had with Dude Niker called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, I talked about how helicopters are too difficult to take out with just Stingers. What I mean by this is that it can take your whole Stinger ammunition to take out 1 helicopter. Speaking of ammunition, the Stinger you spawn with no specialization. You spawn with approximately 3 rockets, 1 in the barrel,
Yeah, here's your med kit.
2 with you. With the specialization, you spawn in with 6 rockets, or you spawn in with 5 rockets, 1 in the barrel, giving you a total of 6. This is a drastic difference from the RPG, but it is a shorter capacity because of balance issues and how you don't want people spawning in with incredible amounts of rockets to take down any air vehicle that the people can lock onto. In my opinion, I think they need to change that. I think they need to make it so you spawn in with at least probably 10 or 12 Stingers, because with that, then you have enough Stingers to take out more than 1 jet per life if you don't have support with you. Anyway, let's move on to Javelins. And Javelins are probably one of the most confusing of all 3. Is the most complex too. With the Javelin, you use lock-on systems, just like the Stinger, to lock on and destroy your enemies, but it does take a long time so it takes probably the same time as the Stinger to lock on, but again, tanks have a specialization that lets them make this lock on longer. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but with that armor, or not armor, but specialization, they can take longer times, just like stealth would for a jet or a helicopter. With the Javelin, you spawn in with 2 rockets. That's enough to disable 1 vehicle, but because you only spawn in with 2, you must use them wisely. So, if you are using the specialization, you spawn in with 4. 3 with you, 1 in the barrel. And since you're using the specialization, you are basically designed to take out tanks and enemy armor from long distance. You're not supposed to be in the fray of things, you're not supposed to be up close to anything. You're just basically supposed to take them out from a distance, be safe. These Javelins do have a far lock-on range, but they also have another nice little treat for the more experienced players. With that, I mean the more experienced players will know how to use laser designation. The easiest way I use laser designation is a CITV station which is the last unlock for the MBT, or the main battle tank. And with that, you will end up having a third seat in your MBT, which is the Abrams or the T90. This third seat allows you to carry 3 people into battle with you. The CITV station acts as a spotter seat, where you can basically watch people, spot out people for the main tank or the gunner, the secondary gunner, to take out. But you can also lock on to enemy vehicles. This is where the Javelin comes into play. With the Javelin, you can have your friend in the CITV station locking onto an enemy jet, and you can pull out your Javelin. The Javelin, because the enemy jet is laser designated, will be able to pinpoint the jet, and you will be able to fire upon the jet. Same goes with the helicopters. And I'm out of time. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. Check out my friends' channels, Dude Niker and Cocaine Connor. They're on my channel on the right. And have a good day, everybody. Peace.